Hi, 8th graders. It's Mr. Songer with you, and this is your makeup lesson for lesson number 1. And for this lesson, we are going to be using Accent on Achievement Book 3, pages 4 and 5. And if you're a percussionist, we're going to be playing on the bell kit for page 4. And page 5, it is your choice, bell kit or snare drum. However, I'm going to be playing the bell kit parts here on the trombone. So if you play the snare drum part, it might be a little trickier for you, but it's up to you. So anyway, we're going to start on page 4, everybody, and we're going to talk about the G minor scale, concert G minor scale. And one thing I want to point out is if you look at page 2, you'll notice that you have the concert B flat major scale, and then as you look at page 4, you have the concert G minor scale. And the difference between these two scales is basically what note they start on. One of the similarities that's very important is that they have the same key signature. So for the flutes, oboes, low brass, bassoon, and percussion, you have 2 flats. For the French horn, you have 1 flat. For clarinets, bass clarinet, tenor sax, trumpets, you have no flats, no sharps. And for the alto and bari saxophones, you have 1 sharp. So as you look at both of those scales, you'll notice that they have that same key signature. One way to get from the B flat concert scale to the G minor scale is just to start on the 6th note of the major scale. So if you take a look at the scale on page 2, number 2, your major scale, look at what the 6th note of that scale is. And then compare that to the first note of the scale on page 4, number 11. That's the first note of that scale. In many cases it's down an octave, but it's the same note, same letter name. Okay, so for example, flutes, low brass, percussion, oboe, bassoon, you have a G. That's the 6th note of the B flat concert scale. We call these two scales relatives. The G minor scale is the relative minor to the B flat major scale. And that's very important in music to understand that relationship that those two scales have. So when you're playing them, all you have to do, again, is just think of the same key signature. Well, we're going to play the minor scale here on page 4, number 11. When you're playing that minor scale, just think the same key signature that the relative major has. Okay? And then that will help you play the scale better. So let's try number 11 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're also going to do number 14, which is another variation of that same minor scale. Here we go, number 14. Ready? Go. Now another thing about theory that you need to understand with minor scales is that we just got done playing a harmonic minor scale, and the one we did before that was a melodic minor scale. The difference between minor scales is that there are different accidentals in them. There's actually a third minor scale that we didn't just play just now, and that's called the natural minor scale. The natural minor scale wouldn't have had any extra sharps, naturals, or flats in there. It would just be whatever you had in your key signature. But when you look at the one you just did, number 14, harmonic minor, you'll notice that the 7th note of the scale was sharp, or it could have been natural if it was originally flat. It was raised a half step. In the melodic minor, number 11, there were 2 notes that had an accidental, but only when you played the notes going up. When you descended, they went back to whatever they were in the key signature. This is all somewhat confusing, but these scales are based off of songs that have been written over the many, many centuries of music. And these are notes that we commonly see used in melodies. So we practice these scales so they help us play songs that use these notes in their songs. So that's the whole concept of practicing scales. So right here you have these 2 minor scales that we just did, the natural minor and harmonic minor, and I'd like you to practice those. And for proof that you watch this video and learn these concepts, what I would like you to do is to record yourself playing one of these 2 scales and send that to me as part of well, actually as your makeup for this lesson. Okay? Let's look at page 5, and now we're going to shift gears here a little bit and talk about time signatures. You are very familiar with 4/4 time. It's the main time signature that you see. You are also familiar with cut time, 2/2. 2/2 is everything is cut in half. Your half note gets 1 beat, your eighth or quarter note gets a half a beat. Okay. On page 5, number 16, the rondo, we have 3/2 time. 3/2 is like cut time, but there's like an extra half measure in there. Okay. So if you look at the first measure of the rondo, you'll notice that there's 3 half notes. Okay. Each one of those half notes gets 1 beat. And that's why we're in 3/2, because there's 3 beats in a measure. You have those 3 half notes, and a half note gets 1 beat. All right, so there's your 3/2. So let's try playing this together. In fact, you might want to just listen to me play it once, and then you can kind of go back in the video and play it along with me, or play it after the video's over. And for time's sake, I'm just going to play up to the DC al fine. There is a DC al fine on this, so you would actually go back to the beginning when you get to the end of this song and play till the fine at the end of line 2. So here we go, number 16. And notice same key signature that we just got done playing in, G minor. 1, ready, go. So that's the rondo. And then I actually want you to flip back to page 3. And we're going to take a look at 2 more time signatures, 9/8 and 12/8. These are both very similar to 6/8 time. 6/8, as you are very familiar with as well, is 6 beats in a measure with the 8th note getting 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes the 6/8 time goes at a fast tempo. So instead of thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we subdivide and have the strong beat be beats 1 and 4, and the weak beats 2, 3, 5, and 6. So it kind of goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to the point where you're almost just thinking of it as in 2 beats per measure, with the dotted quarter note getting 1 beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 da da, 2 da da, 1 da da, 2 da da. Okay, so that's how we commonly think of 6/8. 9/8, you're just adding 3 more eighth notes to the end. And 12/8, you're adding 6 more eighth notes to come up with 12. We're going to do number 7, Morning Has Broken, and then we're going to do the first part of number 9, which is in 12/8. So let's do Morning Has Broken, which is in 9/8 time. I'll give you 2 of those strong beats as preparatory beats. 1, 2. And then number 9, the Andante Cantabile from Tchaikovsky's Fifth. This is now same feel, but we're now in 12/8. So you're just adding 3 more eighth notes to the end of what we just had. Okay, this one goes a little bit slower. Here's 3 preparatory beats. 1 da da, 2 da da, 3. And I'm going to stop there. So there you go. There's your G minor talk. There's your learning how to do 6/8, or sorry, 9/8 and 12/8, as well as 3/2. And again, for your makeup recording, I would like you to do either number 11 or number 14, either your concert G melodic minor or concert G harmonic minor. Record that and send it to me. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.